Alright, hey guys, welcome to LeetCode 30, Substring with Concatenation of all words. I won't read through all this, I'll just get straight to the example. So essentially what we're looking to achieve is the starting indices of all the concatenated substrings, right, within our string, within the given string. So in this case here, where bar foo, you would think that bar foo would be, parts of our, would be a starting index, so we have a starting index of 0. In this case, because we don't have the, which is one of the stated words, we haven't actually fully concatenated our array of words, right? So therefore we skip starting from 0, and we see here that foo bar the is a concatenation. So in this case we'd start from 6. We then have bar the foo, right? So bar the foo, which then means we can start from index 9. Excuse me. And then we have foo bar man, the foo bar, sorry, my apologies, which then starts from number 12, and therefore we get our output. Obviously man is not one of the given words, so it doesn't matter. And so we get an output here which stays 6, 9, and 12. These are our starting indices for our concatenated substrings, right? So if we get into code, this one's a bit long, so bear with me. So first we want our edge case, right? So we're gonna have an edge case which will just state that if, before then, actually, we want to declare a list, right? This will hold our result. So we'll call this list integer, or list integer, and we'll call it result. And we'll say new array list. Oops, wrong way. This. Cool. And then we have an if statement, which is our edge case, which will state that if s does not equal to null, or s dot length does not equal to 0, or words does not equal or equals null, or our final or, which will state that words dot length is equal to 0. So in the beginning it does state in the text that our words will all be the same length, and so we just need to keep that in mind when we're running this. So we just want to return result, which is an empty array. Cool. So after this, we now want to declare some integers, which will state integer word len equals words, which will start from 0, dot len length. Oh, I can't spell length. And we then want another integer called num, so number of words, equals words dot length. And we want an integer which will be called integer substring len, which will be, so this is the length of our substring, which, as we said, our word len times by words, num words, right? Because obviously, as we stated, that as it states before, our words are all the same length, and so if we just take the number of our words, then we'll have the actual string length or substring length. Cool. Okay, so now we want to count the frequency of each word in our words, right? So in this case we're gonna set up a map which will state map. It'll take a string and it'll take an integer, and we will call that word count, and new hash map And then we're going to use a for loop, which will count our frequency, which will take string word in words. Cool. Okay. So a for each loop. So then we have word count dot put, which will take in word, and word count. Count dot get or default word 0 plus 1. Cool. So this should count the frequency of our of each word in our set of words, right? So now we want to traverse through our string s, using a sliding window, right? So in this case, we're going to do a for loop, which will state a traditional for loop. So for int I equals 0, I less than word.len, word.len, and we will increment. Cool. So inside of here, we're gonna declare our pointers, right? So we have our left pointer, which equals I, and our right pointer, which equals I. Oops. And then we want our count. So int count equals 0. Cool. So now we're going to use another map. So inside of here, we're going to declare a map, which will take a string and an integer. Integer. And we'll call this one current count. New hash map. Cool. And so now that we've defined all of our integers and maps and whatever, now we can start doing a little bit of the logic that actually runs this, right? So first we want a while loop, which will state that while right plus word len is less than or equal to our s.length. We then want our string, which was called word, to equal s.substring. So one of the values we declared earlier, s.substring, which will then compare right and right plus word len. Let's just put this little space here. Cool. And then we just want to pass that right plus equals word len, right? Just so we can move it along. Cool. So it stays within the window, or so that the window can move if it needs to, rather. Cool. So we've done our while loop. So now inside of our while loop, we're going to have an if statement, which will check whether it's a valid word, right? So the if statement will go as follows. If word count dot contains key, and we'll pass in word here, then we want current count dot put, and we want word current count. Oops, not spelling things right. Current count dot get or default, and we'll have word 0 plus 1. Cool. Okay, so this is our first if. Fortunately, we do have another one. So count, and we'll increment our count. Cool. So now we have another if statement. Sorry, not an if statement. A while loop. So inside of our if statement, we'll need to pass in a while loop, which will essentially, if the word frequency exceeds the limit, we'll then slide the window. This is what the while loop is doing. So Right, so in our while loop, we want our current count dot get, and we're going to pass in word. And this cannot be, so while current count dot get word is greater than word, oops, that's caps, word count dot get, can't type, get word. We then want, inside of here, we want a string, which we'll call left word. And this will equal s dot substring and left plus our word len. Cool. And we then want our current count dot put left word, and we want current count dot get, and this will also be left word. Yes, that's correct. Cool. And dot left word. Sorry. We also then, oops, what did I do? I need this, and I need a -1 because of how we're counting with indexes. Cool. And then we're going to decrement count by 1, and we will set left plus equals our word len. Right. So this is now moved our left pointer. And then, okay, so now we'll have an if statement, which will state that if we match all our words, we'll add the start index to our result array list, right? So here we have if, let me give it a little space, if count equals num words, then we're going to do result dot add left, right? And then we'll have, so okay, so that's for this block of logic, right? To satisfy this, right? Next, inside of, sorry, for this block of logic, inside of this we have this if statement. Now with this if statement, if the word count contains keyword, we'll run this logic. We now want an else statement, which will state that if the word is not valid, we'll reset our window, right? So in this case, current count is going to be cleared, right? Count will be set back to 0, and our left equals right. So we'll just move our pointers to equal the same as each other, because that string, or sorry, that word is not valid, and therefore we just need to move it along to reset our window, right? So we can start counting again for our words. So then we then need to return our results. So I believe it's here, just beneath. So return result. Right, and moment of truth. Hopefully this, we have an issue. What did I mess up? Error is not a statement. What's the problem here? It's asking for, that's not right. Oh, sorry, bro, can I not see that? I equals, okay. My apologies. And then we have words dot length which is an issue because we don't need our little set of parentheses. Finally, there we go. Well, okay, a little bit of bug fixing as well, I suppose, but it happens, especially when it's long like this. Anyway, hopefully that was understandable. I'm not sure if it was, but I hope it was. It returns a pretty decent result with decent memory. And if it didn't help, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try my best to, either remake the video or explain it in the comments. Anyway, otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.